Morning, everybody. What's up? It is Cowboy, and it is 8:32 a.m. EST. We just had some data come out and wrecking the charts, which is to be expected. Let me go ahead and spread the link around. And if you're in the chat, please say hello. And if you want to know more about what we do, there's a QR code top right-hand corner. We're going to jump right into the content. We'll talk later about what we do. All right. So if you do have questions, just tap that QR code. In the meantime, we're going to jump into the charts and into the economic data that just got released. And seriously, that threw a wrench in the works to anybody who was in a trade, which is why I don't trade during such times. Let's go to see here. Just spread this link around a little bit. All right. We got a couple people watching. Go ahead and do a shout out in the chat. Let us know how you're doing. Pretty good video got put out yesterday. I put out a video talking about when I'm going to buy more Solana because I'm going to pick up a little bit more Solana for this bull run. There are some things that need to happen before I'm interested in picking up Solana, though. I do see cryptocurrency kind of taking a little bit of a retracement, right? A little bit of a break. That's something I do see is very possible. So let me go ahead and one more spot I want to send this link to. Okay, very good. So I was looking at the gold chart this morning and kind of try to figure out, or at least try to make a plan, right? Because there's no way to know the future, but with trading, you do have the ability to to calculate what may happen. And to a statistical degree of probability, you can make decisions, right? You can say, hey, when this happens, 68% of the time it goes this direction. And then you can use that data as a potential trade, right? Well, that's a gold chart right there. Now, before we get into that gold chart, we'll just take a look at how this data came out and why the charts are seeing what they're seeing this morning, because that was a pretty notable move there. I see GDP came out way higher than expected. So let me zoom in on this. What we're looking at here is forexfactory.com. And this is the website I use. There are others that some feel are better, but this one works fine for me. And forexfactory.com is good for all markets, not just Forex. Okay. So it does have a calendar as to when heavy impact events happen. And what I mean by that is when economic data is going to get released by officialdom, and understand what that data might do to the charts or what it might do to the expectations of the market. And in this case, it seems as if the advanced GDP quarter over quarter is the big number. And that makes a lot of sense because unemployment claims came out a little higher than expected, which should be bad for the currency, right? Because if the interest rate hikes that we have seen over the past several months are having the intended effect, then it should be damaging to the economy, which is they're trying to stop inflation. They're trying to slow it down. And the way to slow down inflation is to make more money more expensive. And the effect of that is going to be to have some negative effects in the economy, which means more unemployment claims would be the effect. That would mean that the interest rate hikes are working and we could go ahead and not continue to hike them. But there's an issue here. The advanced GDP quarter over quarter, right? So this is a quarterly number. This is not just, I think unemployment is a weekly number. So numbers that are like, say, quarterly have a lot more pull than numbers that are weekly, right? Because you're talking about way more data. You're talking about, what is that? 3 times 4, so 15 times the data, maybe. So it's going to have 15 times the weight just based on calendar alone, plus GDP might be a little bit more of a, might have a heavier weight than unemployment. But either way, 3.3% versus the expected 2.0. That is a very, very big difference. This is a much stronger economy than was expected and predicted to come out, right? So they're saying that the economic output of domestic product, the gross domestic product, right, is approximately what? Oh, I'd say 45% higher than expected. That's a big number. That's going to push the charts around. And the last thing you want to do is be in a trade while something like that's going to happen, because if the number comes out unexpected like this, then your trade is going to get pushed around, especially if you're trading currencies, cryptocurrencies, but that'll affect stocks, that'll affect everything, you name it. So this is why when we see big data coming out like this, with these red envelopes on forexfactory.com, I don't mess around. I don't trade. Okay, so let's see how that affected the charts. Let's look at gold because that's just where we were. This is an interesting look. In this case, dollar got weaker, but gold was in a position to want to head up. Gold is high time frame bullish, okay? And gold is kind of in a bit of a consolidation. It was in a range up here, and it fell out of that range, and now it appears to be popping back into that range or not. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this. If gold comes back into this range, then of course, we can look at possibly trading in that range. It was pushing down on this support. So as soon as this data, the shock kind of clears up, might be a good trade for me to say, look for a pullback and a move up like this. That might be a trade that I'm interested in. We'll see about it. We'll see how things shape up in the algos, right? But that is kind of what I'd be interested in right now. But again, this news was so recent that I don't want to mess around. The market is still digesting this news, right? And in about 5 minutes is the ECB press conference, and the ECB press conference may or may not have an effect on gold. European countries do hold a lot of gold. And again, if I was to trade gold against the dollar, it might not matter what the European press conference says, but the European market is still pretty big. So I do want to be careful with that. Mostly it's going to be the dollar, the USD news that matters, though. So, but that right now is what might happen with gold. The other option is that it cannot break back into this area, and perhaps we see a short. And again, the algos are going to tell me what I'm interested in doing. So this is the structure that I would follow, either the move up or the move down, and then the algos are going to will say give me the permission to take that trade, right? So my algos are oftentimes a filter to say don't take that trade, and the actual market structure is the trade itself. So it really depends which algo I'm looking at that day. So that's gold. Now Bitcoin, of course, is something that I do like to watch and trade. It's a tricky one to trade. You got to be pretty sharp to Bitcoin's going to scam you out of some wins. That's for sure. That's just how Bitcoin is. It has a lot of wicks. It's got a lot of wild movement, and anytime you trade something that has wild movement, you can expect to have some of your trades taken out. And I do see Bitcoin, of course, and I've done a number of videos about this now. If you go to the YouTube channel, you're going to see videos about the FTX selling. You're going to see videos about the ETF. And I was calling this move down for months. I was saying that as soon as the ETF happens, there's a good chance, a good probability that at least temporarily, at least in the short term, this is a sell the news event. And surely this came down, right? Told everybody that for months. Now, is this going to be a long-term sell the news event? I don't think so. I don't want to say exactly where I think price will go. I have some lines in the chart, but that's not necessarily what what's important. That line, that's just from out. Excuse me, that's just from out. Wow, got a itchy throat. Hold on a second. Man, that was random. Those are just from our notation, but we are going to go ahead and take a look at what Bitcoin has done, and we're going to take a look at what I think it will do. And right now it is kind of in a little bit of a stasis, right? So let's go ahead and map out some of the prior consolidations. I went ahead and cleaned up my chart this morning. I like to every so often delete all my notation on the charts, right? That's what I like to do. Bitcoin had a prior range, right? Up in this area where I just drew that box. So this is going back to December. It's almost a 2-month-old consolidation that broke out, right? So what often will happen is that price is attracted to these areas where there is a current or was a consolidation because there's liquidity in those areas. And that liquidity is there because of the past price action. And there is a fair amount of liquidity here, although the range itself was confined to a shorter time period, right? And then there's actually more liquidity below it where there was a prior range. So this whole area kind of does have, you know, an attraction, if you will, right? Price will be attracted to these areas, but there's more attraction here in this, say, 35.7 to 38.4 area. There's more attraction to that area. Now, do I think price is ready to move down to that? I'm not sure. I think if anything, I might be looking for a trade just in this area where there's not really, a lot of price action. I think this area was a distribution, right? I think price basically Bitcoin was distributed out from the smart money to the not so smart money, and price is going to go ahead and head down so that the smart money can buy it lower or at least go long lower, right? Now, where is that going to be? Where are they going to accumulate? Uh-oh. I may have lost my internet. I might have lost my internet there for a minute. So, go ahead and say something if that's the case. I got an interesting blip on the screen. But if I were to take a trade right now, I would look, and I would need the algos to kind of line up for this. And I don't know that it's quite there yet. Let's see. It's getting there, but it's not quite there. I would look at trading like this. And it would be, I'll take a small trade here, just within this range. This is a bit risky, so it's just going to be a small trade. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm going to be moving my stops pretty aggressively here. Let's see. Do I have permission yet? Yeah. Maybe not. No, I need something. I need one more thing to line up. Let me delete this. Let me go off the screen here and set my alarm so I can kind of keep my formula secret. Give me just a moment. I have an indicator on there that's part of my algorithm, and I do need to set an alarm for it. Give me a second. I think it might already be set. Let me just see if that's the case and move on in the conversation. Am I on? Okay, good. So I think this will be a trade, but I'm not interested in this trade just yet, and I won't be having a solid stop loss set until I'm in that trade. This is a decent stop up here, but in order for that to make sense from a risk to reward perspective, I would have to enter a bit higher. So when that trade gets entered, and it's probably going to happen during our private show or after, I'm not quite ready to enter this yet, but that's a trade. I mean, this is kind of a freebie out there for those of you who are looking to go short on Bitcoin. It's going to look like this, right? But I'm not ready to go in yet. So that's just a freebie right there. So you're welcome. But yeah, I expect Bitcoin to go down. I just right now think that, there's going to be some different price action. Gold is starting to head up. That news was, I don't know. It's actually gold is struggling to figure out what it's going to do next right here. So, the European news just came out a minute ago, so the euro would look pretty interesting. Always good to see you in here, Truckface. We got a few more people watching. Shout out, say something in the comments if you want to see if you want to see a chart or something like that. Let us know. So the euro is in this pretty well-defined range, more or less. So I would be interested in if I can get, and I might have missed it, but again, I don't trade around news like that, so there was nothing I could do. But right here, as price headed up, a good entry might be the top near this area, and then go ahead and take a short. It might be a good entry. So we'll give some time for the news to pass, and then we will go ahead and see how that looks. Let's take a look at. Let me actually look at some possible alarms to set here. Give me a second. Okay, that's on the 3 hour. Huh. Interesting. Something's going on here. I'm missing something. Missing something important here. Oh, no, I'm not. Okay. Yeah, something got erased somehow, but now it's not erased anymore. Let me fix an alert. An alert's got to get fixed. All right, I got to do something off screen here. Erotic mean. Okay, so I have something. I have like a weird. What is this? I have like an alert here. Oh, okay. Okay, good to go. Sorry, everybody. I'm just managing my stuff. Okay, so let's take a look at Solana. Since I did a video on that yesterday. And again, go over to the YouTube channel. You will see that I did a video regarding when I'm going to buy some Solana, right? So I have exactly when I'm going to buy it. Like, if you go watch that video, it'll tell you when I'm going to buy it, right? When I think it's reached a local bottom. And I'll tell you how that bottom is defined if you go to that video. And speaking of bottoms, we got the grill in the house. What's up, brother?
Hi.
The grill is in. What's up, dude?
I'm doing well, my friend. I cannot complain. I mean, I could complain, but who's going to listen?
That's pretty much the deal. Yeah. No one cares.
Yes.
No one cares about your problems.
Yes. Just, yes.
Man, from a like range trading perspective, this Solana is ripe for a short. I could take any of these like cryptos short right now. It would be okay. Like, I'm tempted, but I'm waiting on I'm waiting on my algo to tell me I can, and there's just waiting. So this is a little bit dangerous of a short. See, what people don't understand is
what do you see the price going down to for Solana? Because I'm going to buy some more.
These areas right here are liquidity that I found yesterday, right? So I got locally 83.50, and then if it can break below and into this liquidity zone down here, then my next price is going to be 71.50, probably 66.50, and then just above $60, like 60.50. I think that we're going to see a bit of a time where Bitcoin ranges, and as it does, whether
it's
or not
funny
Bitcoin
you should say that, because today's drip is all about that.
Okay, that's right. We got drips today, don't we?
Yep, it's going to be a long, lengthy drip, but I'm going to be talking about what's Bitcoin going to do for the next several weeks. Then I'm going to talk about this much ballyhooed Ethereum ETF, which when I was talking to my colleagues here in the United States and abroad, we have our opinion on it, and I tend to feel the same way. So if you're not joined up with Algo Factory right now, what the hell are you waiting for? It's the only place where you're going to learn not only how to trade, but how to build the algorithms, but also understand what the hell is happening in the world so you can get ahead of it. Nobody else does that. We give you real, actionable intelligence. Go ahead.
Yeah, speaking of which, here's my Solana path. I think is going to happen. I think it's going to kind of hang out up here until it's ready. It might grab liquidity, maybe up high. It might maybe grab, or it's either going to go up and then head down. It'll at least have a short to this 83 area, but that's pretty local. If and when it can break down below the current range, I would expect 71 to be a nice target, but it may simply go down. It may not. I mean, it's right now Bitcoin really is the decider, and Bitcoin is in a very kind of precarious point. It's at a point where the whole market's watching Bitcoin. Right. So, and I can tell you right now, Solana, as much as it looks like it wants to head down, I have some indicators that are saying, okay, but it's risky right now to short it. It's risky right now to short it. It could head down and then pop back up on you, right? Like, bam, mess with you. So, and look, I mean, dude, one of the best traders that I see out there trades ranges like a pro. He doesn't care. It hits the top of that range, he goes short. Hits the bottom of that range, he goes long. Dude makes a freaking ton of money. You have to trade your personality, right? And so my personality is such that I combine range trading with algorithmic indication. That's how I roll. So now if I am going to simply trade the range, then it's going to be a really nice risk to reward. For example, if you're going to do the range trade, you have the ability to, if this is like the top of your range, bottom of your range, you can set your orders in that area, and then you can have some really, really nice risk to reward, because there's not, your stop losses are going to be, your entry is going to be so high that you're going to have so much reward, but you're also possibly going to get stopped out. So, but again, on the balance of probabilities, over time, you win that way. So I'm not talking shit on it. I'm just saying how I do it, right? So, and I have a way of adding to my trades that will make up for that loss of R. So everybody, I have an algo, man. I spent a lot of time building an algo. And on top of that, we got intel from the gorilla that we get usually once a week. This intel that the gorilla gets comes from on high, so it's kind of one of those situations where the world doesn't revolve around our Thursday shows. Like, it's like, hey, Masters of the Universe, Thursday show is coming. Give us some intel. It's like, that doesn't work that way, but it's that we get intel maybe once or even twice a week and report on it then. But sometimes there's no intel, like especially early in January, late in December. Everybody's taking
nothing. No one's around. No one's around.
Yeah, so that's kind of the tongue-in-cheek way I said, like, yeah, the world doesn't revolve around our Thursday show, but 3 out of 4 Thursdays at least we have some pretty good intel, even if it's some quick intel. Let's see in the private chat. We got a fair amount of people watching, but not a whole lot of people not a whole lot of people talking. So I'm gonna look in the private chat as opposed to the YouTube chat. I don't see anybody talking. So we've got 12 people watching. So ask for a chart. I think X should be letting us see your questions. Let me roll over to X really quick just to see if those chat questions are not showing up, if I'm getting questions and not seeing them. Give me a sec. Okay, so here's the live. I'm going to click on the live and see. Oh, it looks like everybody watching is watching on YouTube. I don't think anybody's watching on X. Let's see. Yeah, everybody's on YouTube, so speak up. You want to see something? You want to see a chart? Speak up. X is the quiet. Usually get more people watching on X. That's weird. I wonder if I got demonetized. Oh, I know I got demonetized for like no reason. So X basically, like, they sent me a message saying I was demonetized, said I would get an email as to why, and I've not gotten an email. And I don't really do a lot of controversial content. Like, I mean, I'm markets. So I'm like, and they tell you have 30 days to appeal once, and so, you'll get your email. And if you don't appeal within 30 days, then you're no longer qualified. Like, it's been almost a week and I've gotten no email. So basically, is it going to be one of those things like, okay, you didn't reply to your email for 30 days. Like, I never got an email. Like, is that how they're choking people to death now? Is that how it works? Like, so I don't know. I didn't make that much money on X anyway, but it's like, okay, well, I guess you really don't want creators to like grow. If that's what's going on over on X, like, or did they cancel people's monetization so they can make room for Mr. Beast and pay for him? Is that what's going on? Like, you didn't have enough money to pay Mr. Beast. So I'm sorry, but that's freaking lame, dude. You gotta cancel somebody, tell them why. I assume YouTube's
canceled you.
Well, they demonetized me. Like, my account still exists. I'm a premium still. Like, I can spread the word, but I can't. I got a notification saying you're demonetized. Check your emails. We'll explain to you why if you want to appeal. I'm like, oh, okay. No email. And I've been contacting them. First of all, they don't tell you where to contact. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're demonetized on X, go ahead and go to @premium, the premium handle @premiums, and you can appeal it by sending a DM to them. And that's not where you really appeal, but that's how you can contact. And then they'll have an auto, like a robot, respond to you like, oh, well, you can appeal to your email. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, what email? Yeah. So what did I make $100? Like, I mean, yeah, I didn't really make a lot of money over on X. It's not like I'm missing it, but shit, man. Dom Luca was making, he had over 1 billion impressions a month, like, and they just demonetized him. Yeah. They demonetized him for that stuff we talked about yesterday.
Yeah. Tunnel juice is not a popular subject.
No, it's not a popular subject. We're, whatever, I'm a trader, so I'm going to trade, but yeah, I guess you can't talk about certain groups, especially when it comes to that subject. So let's roll over to, hey, we'll talk about them all day, like just outside of these, outside of these public looks, we'll have our conversations. Don't worry about it.
Well, next time I go to New York, Cowboy, I'm going to find a place where you and I can dig a tunnel, and hopefully nothing happens to us. I'm sure we'll be allowed to.
Just have the cement truck ready,
Yeah, I'm sure the city will cover it up for us.
Oh yeah, no, just make a phone call. Ethereum looking a lot more bearish than Bitcoin right now. So this is, I think Ethereum is going to go on sale. I do think that Ethereum, again, our drips are going to talk about this, but if Ethereum has something big coming, it could be that the smart money is pushing it down so they can grab it on sale. That's quite possible. And I think that some decent areas for Ethereum to head down to, and I'll be looking to short it as soon as it breaks out of this range. And I think I might even be willing to tighten that range up because the more recent lows on this range. Yeah, what I'd be looking at with Ethereum is a short that looks kind of like this. Ideally, it'll pop up and give me a nice entry, and then I think my first target might be about here. So, something like that. So that's what I see happening right now. Whatever thing that is big that happens with Ethereum, I don't expect to happen for like 2-3 months. I think it's a Q2 thing. So I think Ethereum is going to take a break. Either way, this is like going out a week or two. This isn't going out quarters. So, we might see a nice trade look like that. That's nice, a 4-to-1. And I don't know that my stop loss will look like that. The stop loss might be tighter, might be deeper. It just depends on what the price action does. But, I'll probably have one bit of profit being taken out in this area. It's just all depends on where where all the nodes are. And that's not something that I'm going to share here, but this does look similar to the short that I may take. The proper range for this is going to be like probably down to like here, just wherever the liquidity is, price will be attracted to. So, well, again, that's something I'll look at the time. It's not ready yet. Price is still actually in a mini range. So, I mean, one could see this as like a multiple opportunity where a range break can happen here. Is this on the 3 hour? So if I jump down to the half hour, we can get some granularity and see what might happen. Right in this area. Because it seems to be pretty well defined. And a pop out of this area could just be a quick little nugget short right here. Like if you can get the right pop out, but there's not a lot of R right there. But it could be that this is the beginning of the fall out of that range, but it's hard for me to short the bottom of a range. I'd wait for the breakout on the bottom. But there's enough R right here on the right scenario. If I get like, a breakdown here, maybe even a little pullback, there might be enough room right there. This wick down here is probably something I'd be looking at as far as where I might consider taking some profit. So that might be what that actual short-term trade looks like. Not the high time frame, but the short term. Okay, so we got more people watching. I've got no questions. So let's see what you want to see, V. We already took a look at gold. So I don't know, if you want to see gold again or if you want to take a look at something else.
I don't want to see gold. I want to go private right now.
Oh, you want to go? Is it time? Oh my God.
It's time.
Yeah. Then that's right. We're at the end here. Go ahead and give us that send off, and I'll get the private open.
Listen, you guys, don't sit on the sidelines wondering if this is for you. You want to try Rocky Road. You want to try vanilla ice cream. You want to try something else. You don't try Algo Factory. You do Algo Factory. And I'm telling you right now, listen, join us. Help us. Look, do something for yourself this year. I truly believe the screws are coming down hard starting in 2025. This is the last year you guys got in terms of opportunity and options. And that window is closing. It's getting real tight. This is the time for you to jump in, learn how to trade, learn how to build those algorithms, and learn how to profit no matter if the market is up or if the market is down. We give you the educational tools in order for you to succeed, and we help you every step of the way. On top of that, you get the play-by-play of what's happening in the world so you understand where to exploit the markets, where to leverage for your success. With that being said, Cowboy, Take us away.